Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us again this week. My name is Tawana Rivers. I am the CEO of the 10K Project, and we are here again this week with an amazing founder that is doing something very, very unique and very special. And I'm so excited to talk about tonight's project and to introduce you to tonight's founder. But thank you all very much for joining us. Gary Jones is the founder and CEO of New York Jewelry Connection. And Gary's not raising capital in the way that we're typically used to coming to these presentations. Gary's actually going to pre-sell some of his amazing jewelry pieces. And when you see these pieces, it's amazing with a capital A and like a few Z's. Like that's how nice this is, right? And how special and meaningful it is too. And so I wanted to welcome Gary to the 10K Project. He and I have been chatting for the last few weeks, getting to know each other and really working very well together. I'm so proud of what he's pulled together here, and what each of these pieces represent. And so I'm excited for you to see his collection. The goal for the end of the evening is that you love it so much, you want to buy, right? And support the efforts of this amazing jewelry designer and this amazing jewelry company. So with that said, I am going to turn it over to Gary to introduce himself to you, introduce you to his collection. And then we're going to go to the web. We're going to look at some pieces live here. We're going to go to the website. We're going to do all the things. You still get to ask questions, right? Because nothing changes. The format is still the format. You still get to ask all the questions you want to ask. But at the end of the evening, the goal and the call to action is very similar to what it typically is. We want you to consider purchasing what you see this evening. But more than anything, we want you to share Gary's website, right? So that others can also purchase, again, these meaningful pieces. And when you see the pieces, you'll know what I mean by meaningful. With that said, Gary, I'm going to turn it over to you, sir. Welcome again to the 10K Project. We're so very, very happy to have you here.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to participate in the 10K project. For the last several weeks, really, I couldn't sleep at night knowing that it's going to be a great possibility here. And I'm just excited about it. I've never done this before. So, like she said, my name is Gary Jones. I am originally from the most famous city in the world, which is New York. Okay. Um, yeah, I went to school down in Morehouse, and then I ended up in Maryland. And so, for the last, I'd say about 20 to 25 years, my profession has been business development. Okay. I've been in many different fields. We started a dry cleaning company. From that, construction, insurance industry, healthcare industry. And so the opportunity a few years ago had come up for me to get involved in the jewelry business. Okay. And so now, originally, we were just making custom made jewelry. Okay. And so that was maybe about a couple months, but that process was a little slow. And to me, it wasn't all that meaningful. Okay. And so maybe 3 months after that, I had the opportunity to go on vacation for a couple of days with, well, she's going to kill me, with my ex-wife. Okay. We were on vacation together. We went down to Louisville, Kentucky. All right. And we got there a little late. And so the next day, we were going to do all of our sightseeing. But before we did that, go to the Muhammad Ali Museum, the Breonna Taylor mural, and the Kentucky Derby, and all that kind of stuff, we had to go to Pandora. All right. And so that morning, we went to Pandora. So now, 10 steps before we entering the Pandora, my ex-wife says, now she's an industrial engineer. Okay. All of the years that we were together, she really never came up with an idea for me for business. Okay. Except this one time. Okay. After 20 something
It was your
years.
parting gift.
Okay. So I'm 10 steps away from Pandora. And so she says, now, everything that I try to do, I try to be different, okay, and unique. Okay, so she started off, she said, Gary, she said, you know what you need to do with that jewelry? You guys need to be different. Okay, so now that hit me like a ton of bricks. So now I know I'm realizing that an idea is coming. So my hands are on my hips, like what? And then she says, "Why don't you guys just design jewelry that commemorates the Black experience? Each piece will represent a Black historical event." Okay, now let me tell you where my hands went. They went in my pockets. Okay, instead of having that look, my hands went in my pocket, and she couldn't tell at the time when she said that. I said, okay, I in my mind I was doing backflips. Okay, because I knew that I was looking for that. But then after that, I added the components. Okay, and so now, before I show any of the jewelry or anything like that, let me tell you who my member is, my jeweler is. She's more of a consultant with me now. Her name is Miss Lou Willett. Now, you don't know that name, but you know the customers that she designed pieces for, okay? The biggest star on the planet, maybe for about a 17, 20-year period, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Don Cornelius, Soul Train, Sammy Davis Jr., Isaac Hayes, all of them. Okay. And so that's how the idea for me to actually get into the business, we started off doing custom made jewelry. Okay. So now, without further ado, this is what I want to do. We commemorate the Black experience through fine jewelry. So what we have here is a 10-piece collectible charm bracelet series. We're going to be collaborating with a lot of different organizations and everything. So some of their material, some of their designs will totally be different because we're going to commemorate some of their organizational milestones. Okay. So now I want to start off with the bracelet itself. Okay. The bracelet is 29. Can you see this? Is
Yes,
that
right there is perfect.
the bracelet 29 grams. So how you can determine what 29 grams is, this, if you can just put quarters, stack them up, and you grab them with your three fingers, and then you pick them up and hold them to the side, that's 29 grams, okay? Solid sterling silver, 925, rhodium plated, okay? And that rhodium prevents it from rusting. Okay, so this is the bracelet that we decided on. Okay, 20 grams. Of course, we put I didn't want to
Oh, Gary, your voice is getting a little low. I don't know if the picture's blocking the sound, but you're getting a little low.
okay. Is this okay? Is this better?
That's much better, sir.
Okay, so now let me go to the first black charm. Okay, now the first one is Black Wall Street. Okay, now I want you to take a look at the detail of this. Take a look at the fire underneath Black Wall Street. Okay, now I had a conversation several weeks ago with a person. We're talking about this Black Wall Street. Okay. As far as that happened, in, of course, in 1921. But the thing is, if when you really look at it, we are still experiencing Black Wall Street in a different form. When we go to these banks to try to get a business loan, they turn us down twice as much as our counterparts. Okay. And then sometimes when they do give us these loans, at a higher interest rate. So they're still killing our dreams, okay, when it comes to owning a business. You take Washington, for instance, they got sued, the Washington Assessment Office. They were um, they were costing homeowners their homes by assessing their home values more because unfortunately, a lot of us live paycheck to paycheck. And as a result, a lot of homeowners lost their houses. Take a look at some of these banks. Just recently, a couple months ago, Navy Federal was getting sued because of that same reason, denying us loans when we were approved for them. Okay, so now take a look at that
Oh, you gotta
video.
raise the picture back up. We lost it out of view. There we go.
take a look at the bell, everybody. The bell is what connects the charm to the fist. We search high and low for a unique bell. That's the fist. And so we wanted to pay homage to Tommy Smith and John Carlos, 1968. Those were the sprinters who raised their fists. Now, that symbol is probably the most powerful symbol in the Black community, those fists. And so we wanted to put that fist on top of all of these charms. And that's what we did. Okay. So now
Mary,
let
I
me
want to
go.
make a suggestion.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and look at it from the site because I think when you put the picture up,
Okay.
it covers your voice.
Okay.
So let's pull
Okay.
up the site and then we'll walk through it from the site.
Okay. You can go to HBCUAmazing.com.
Okay, hold on one moment.
So now while you're pulling up the site, now there's there's one piece that's not on the site, and that's the bail. I wanted to let everybody know. Hello?
We're here.
Okay. Can you all right. I wanted to show everyone. Can you can you
Oh,
see it?
let me stop showing so you let me stop sharing so you can show this one last
Okay.
picture.
See this bail right here? See it detaches and it attaches. Okay. And so I searched the world for this. Now, the idea of putting a Black History pieces together. Right. That wasn't my idea, but this detachable and attachable fist, that's my idea. I wanted to make it convenient for the customer. So when you get your charms in the mail, this fist detaches and attaches. So once you purchase the charms, you'll be able to, instead of going to a jeweler to pay for them to attach it. You don't have to do that. Everything comes in a velvet New York City Jewelry Connection black pouch. And so you can arrange your charms any way that you see fit. Get them out of the bag. And so we wanted to make it less cumbersome for everyone. So that's
Okay.
the
So
that's
show us that one more time, just to show us the picture. So that's the connection. That's how
yeah,
you
that's
attach the charm to the actual
yeah.
bracelet.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
But
perfect.
charm, but once you get the charm and the fist, they'll be together anyway. Okay,
Okay,
they're gonna come
wonderful.
together. Okay, all you do is just attach it to the bracelet.
Okay. We'll be
All
able
right.
to look at that when we get to the site. I think it'll be a good picture to see the connection point. So
And
let me
now,
share. Oh,
okay,
let me share my screen
okay,
because I'm afraid they're not really seeing the
okay,
detail, and I don't want them to miss
okay,
this.
okay. So what you do is go to the Tuskegee Airmen
You want me to go to shop or the catalog?
shop and go to the Tuskegee Airmen.
Mm,
If you just click on that one, that 871, it'll bring them all up. It'll be on the left-hand side.
Okay, go back. Okay,
And then go down, you'll see all of them.
okay, right. Okay, go to Tuskegee Airmen.
there we
Okay,
go.
great, right there. Okay, great. Okay, so now see the detail. Now that plane is a plane that was used back in those times. So of course we paired it with the fist as well. And so now, right, we all know that the Tuskegee Airmen were the red-tailed angels and they were the black pilots. Okay. Now, but a lot of people don't know this, and this is would be in the on the card. Each charm that a person gets is going to be a business-sized card that gives the information. And so what we were trying to do was give different information. And so now, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune of Bethune Cookman we are in collaboration with them doing a piece for their Legacy Foundation. And so a couple of years ago, before we met Dr. Evelyn McLeod Bethune, and during that ceremony, we received a lot of information. So now the Tuskegee Airmen, of course, okay, were the Black pilots. But the thing is, at that time, they were the most successful Black pilots escort team out of all of the teams within that theater. And so one particular day in 1944, once the white pilots were dropping their ammunition, they had to come back to base. And so the Tuskegee Airmen at that time, out of all the other groups of pilots, they were the most successful escort team. And so this particular day in 1944, okay, they were able to come to the rescue of some our white counterparts. And so unfortunately, when they came back to the United States, they weren't really well received. The United States came up with the GI Bill. The Blacks, they were able to go to college, which was good, but the white pilots who had come back, they were able to apply for loans and home ownerships and that kind of stuff like that to increase their home ownership. And so we weren't able to do that. And so now, but before the Black pilots were able to get inducted, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune had a lot to do with that because she was friends with Eleanor Roosevelt. And so she went to Eleanor a year before they started to induct these Black pilots and asked her, why are there no Black pilots? And so she went to her husband and asked him the same question. And then 1 year later, Black pilots. And so we just use that as a impetus to say, listen, we are educated people and we can do the same things as everybody else. And the government didn't think that we were able to fly these planes because of, they said that our aptitude wasn't where it should have been, but we proved everyone wrong. Okay. So now, so that's that. So let's go to the March on Washington.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. See the little bus? Okay. All right, let's pull that up. Okay, see the bus boycott 1955. Okay, see that how that's engraved and see the detail, and I'm going to keep using that word throughout this presentation because that's what's important here is the detail of these pieces. And you see the windows and see the indentation of the windows and then the door windows and then you see the wheels, right? And so now this
It
bus
almost looks
boycott,
like the door could actually open. That's how detailed it is. Like that's pretty
right.
beautiful. Wow.
Right, absolutely. And so now, of course, everybody knows about the bus boycott, but they don't really know that Rosa Parks, she with this when she sat on that bus that day, that wasn't the first encounter with that bus driver. Because one time she got on the bus and she paid her money, but he wouldn't take her. Okay. And so she went back, and then, that's how this whole thing got started. So it was a whole plan to make sure that we were able to, not, succumb to those rules and regulations and those laws back then. So she was very upset about that. And then that's how the bus boycott got started. And so, and of course that lasted for 1 year. And so we had come together for that 1 year. And so now during that time, unfortunately, every organization was against us. The police was against us, the prosecutors, the judges, the politicians. And so we didn't have anyone to turn to. So when you take a look at this bus boycott, that's a movement that we had come together. All right. And so unfortunately, these days, coming together like that, maybe that's in the past, but we have to come back to that. And so this bus boycott, really means something to me, because I'm looking at this bus and I remember when I was 4 and 5 years old, I was riding buses like that. Okay. So that's the bus boycott. All right. All right. So, okay. So next, okay, is, okay, did we cover the March on Washington? Okay. Let's go to the March on Washington.
Which
Okay,
one
up,
is
go up. Yep,
up?
come up, go back, right there. Okay.
This one here?
Yes. Okay.
There we
All
go.
right, look at that. Okay, the March on Washington. So now look at, of course, I'm going to use that word again, detail. Look at the people carrying and walking with the banner. That's what that is. Okay. And so now, now for me, that March on Washington, the I Have a Dream speech, right? Everybody knows that. But for me, okay, that speech was really about 17 minutes long. And the first, for me, the most powerful part of that speech was the first part of it, where Dr. Martin Luther King says the reason why we're here is so that you can make good on your on that check, because you gave us a check and it came back insufficient funds. All right. So I thought that first part of it was so powerful for me. So sure, the I Have a Dream speech, yes, that's it for a lot of people. But for me, the first 5 minutes, because he talked about the promises that were made by the government that they didn't fulfill. And he said that they gave us a bounce check. All right. And so I thought that was very, very powerful. So, so when we took a look at that, we said, yeah, well, let's do one where we have people carrying that banister. All right. So that's what we did. I mean, carrying
The
that
banner.
promo banner. Okay. So yeah,
Very
that's
good. And I just want to share here also, Gary, was something that you and I talked about. So Gary is, you know, the reason for the pre-sale of this amazing jewelry is to be able to manufacture his collection. And so the monies earned from the pre-sale will be able to pay for the manufacturing. Gary is aware that there's a typo on this sample piece here. And so the actual piece that's manufactured, this is where Washington is spelled wrong, Gary. Remember we talked about that?
yes, yes. And I have the
Washington will be
corrected one
spelled
here.
properly. Yeah. You've got to
Yeah, okay,
correct it on that one, on that sample.
that's yes, that's the corrected one there. Okay.
Perfect.
And we apologize for that. Okay. That's it right there. Okay. So
Okay.
now, so just let me let everybody know now, the reason as far as the inventory is concerned, that these are custom made pieces. All right, these pieces aren't stamped out of a machine where you have a mold and then it can print a million of them. No, it's not like that. These are custom made pieces. Now on the website, on the about page, when you're in your homes after after the show, you can take a look at, go to the about page, and then you can see how this how the manufacturing process is done. Okay, it's like a 2 minute video, and so that's why it takes so long. It takes about 4 to 5 weeks initially. So once we are able to increase our inventory levels, then we would have the merchandise on hand where a person can get their merchandise in 2 3 days, because we're going to be on several different platforms, Amazon and so forth. And so some of these social media websites, they want us to get the merchandise to the customer within 3 4 days. And so this is another reason why we need to do the pre-sales, to raise some capital so that we're able to purchase a lot of inventory and have them on hand in the United States. So after about, I say about 2 months, 2.5 months, then we should have a significant revenue base where we can have inventory on hand. So initially, when you start a business like ours, it takes so much money. So up until this point, we probably put in like maybe about $100,000 already, which is my own money. So I didn't have to go and try to borrow the money. I just was able to do it myself. So that way, when it comes to fruition time to get this business off the ground, I don't have to answer to anyone. Okay. So
Very
that's
good.
the
Gary, would
reason
you
why.
like to show the video? I know you said it was 2 minutes. Would you like to show
Oh,
the?
okay. Yes. Okay. Let's take a look at it. Okay. I didn't. Okay.
Let me see. I may have to stop sharing so I can make sure I share
Okay.
sound.
Okay.
It's a really nice video. I like that they could possibly see this. Share sound.
Well, that you don't have to, because it's just a little music, so you probably wouldn't have to do a sound because it's
Okay.
not like won't be talking.
Okay, perfect.
It's not playing for us.
Not playing anything? Okay, hold on.
Maybe because it's on this platform.
I don't know.
But everybody can take a look at it when they're home.
Hold on, let's try it one more time. Can you guys see it now?
Oh, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is one of our plants. We have 3 plants around the world. And this is our one in India. We got another plant in Thailand, and we have another one in China. And in a few minutes, I'll let you know why we need all these plants around the world. See, your merchandise goes through certain stages, okay? So, like I said again, it's not like they're pennies that, is stamped out of the machine, because every step a person has to touch it and have to do something with it. And this is why it takes so long, several weeks for it to get produced from your sketch, from the time you get your production material. It takes about 4 to 5 weeks, because see how detailed that is? It's laser printing, it's all of that. But we have 3 plants like this, and they are highly precision. Laser printing. And that part there is just getting, after it goes through that process, it's before it gets polished and clean, it has to get all that residue off of it. See how clean these facilities are?
That is wonderful. You could tell they were handling every single piece with care.
There's no question about that. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the vote 1965, John.
Okay.
Okay, on the right. Okay, great. Okay, so listen. Okay, now with this here, vote 1965. So now, see that this? Okay, there's that this again. All right. And so now the reason why we don't have the fist bail is because we didn't want to put a fist on top of the fist. That fist right here that you see is pulling down the lever to vote. So we thought that would make a powerful statement. And so when it says vote 1965, that's the voting machine, so to speak. Okay. And so that pole that hand is wrapped around, that's pulling down the lever, signifying that we have the right to vote now. Okay. And so I know we are in an election year, and so we are going to be involved with a couple different organizations that we're going to help them get the vote out. And so that's what we're going to do, because this year is very, very important. And so we added on to this, made theirs a little different, but that's a powerful statement right there. Vote 1965, the Voting Rights Act, and then the bill, we just made it a simple bill to attach to the bracelet. Right? So that's it with that. Okay. And I think now the last Black History charm, we can go down to Juneteenth right here. To your right, to the right, Juneteenth. Okay. Now, this Juneteenth piece was the very first one that we made a few years ago. And so what you see in the inside, that represents Juneteenth. That is the Juneteenth symbol. And so you see 1865 there, and then you also see 2021. Now, of course, 2021 is when they made it a national holiday. And so we wanted to put those two dates. And so now I just want to just add that these are educational pieces. Okay, these are pieces like when you go on vacation, when you go on a cruise, a family reunion, let's say, and you have some family members coming up to you, and they want to know how, that's a nice piece. What does that mean? What is that? And so now a conversation has to take place. And so what we wanted to do with all of these pieces is make them educational pieces to keep Black history alive. Okay, because unfortunately we know that they're taking it all out of the schools, and then what's left in the schools, some of it is distorted. So we like to say this is Black history on the move outside of the classroom. And so, because it's our responsibility to keep passing down our information, our Black history. And so this is another reason why we were able to put this type of collection together. So this Juneteenth, it's just another educational piece. And you see the fist is on top of that as well. So, all right. So now let's go to a Know Your Power.
I really like this fist. I really like that connector piece. I really, really do.
Right,
Wow.
right. Yes, yes. It's definitely unique. So with the way that I have it is patent pending, that's for sure. So let's go to Know Your Power. Okay, so now not all of the charms are going to be Black history. Now, this Know Your Power is one of our themes, because we as Blacks, once we come together on a particular issue, okay, there's no stopping us, okay, just like the bus boycott, just like the 1963 March on Washington. When we come together, we make things happen. And so with this piece, what we wanted to do was keep the Know Your Power, maybe on the flat side, okay, but then you have the power just graduating up. Okay, and then the O is the fist. Do you see that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
see it.
So
I see it.
right. Yeah, so of course we could have just made Know Your Power, but no, we wanted to make it different, because that's what we're about. This is a company that's different. We don't have any competition in this country. One of the persons said that conceptually, okay, we are not competing against Pandora, because we don't have any competition, but the concept is the same. Who we're competing with is on the quality side is Tiffany Jewelers, because our pieces compete against their pieces, their quality pieces. And so now, as far as expense is concerned, now sure they're going to be a lot more expensive than us. I didn't want to do that. Sure, because of the fact that these are high quality pieces, it costs us a lot of money to put together. But I didn't want to pass those prices over to the customer. My company is absorbing that, because what we wanted to do, we didn't want to cheapen our Black history pieces, okay, because we let the others do that, if you know what I'm talking about. So I couldn't go to bed at night knowing that I cheapened these pieces. Sure, I could have gone with a lesser chain. I could have gone with a 12-gram chain. No, I didn't want to do that, because what I wanted to do, I wanted to have it where when you put these pieces on your arm, okay, the weight of it is heavy. You know that you have something on your arm. So really what you're doing, what you're having on your arm is Black history. Okay. The weight of our history is on your wrist. And so we wanted to make sure when you put this bracelet on with these charms, you know that you have something on your wrist. Okay. Because you're carrying our history with us.
Harry, when you said
Okay.
earlier, your voice went out a little bit when you said how many quarters to hold, which is
Okay.
comparable to
5 quarters. Yes.
five.
Five.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's
Five
not bad at
quarters.
all. 5 quarters
Right.
for the bracelet. That's not bad.
Yes. 5 quarters. Okay. So let's go to the HBCU amazing piece. Okay. That one. Okay. Okay, so now this is one of our of course the know your power is our theme, but because we have a relationship with the National HBCU Alumni Association Foundation, which oversees all of the schools, all of the HBCUs. We made a charm to represent HBCUs around the country. Okay. And so when you purchase these charms, some of the profits are going back for scholarships. And another thing that we're doing with these HBCUs, we're not going to have our designer design everything. We're going to have student engagements. We're going to host student design competitions amongst the students, and the winners will win scholarship dollars. The schools, of course, will receive 10% of the profits. And so we wanted to say, listen, we need to give back. And so this HBCU charm is going to be all throughout the HBCUs in this country. And that's another reason why we needed so many plants, because we're also dealing with the alumni. It's going to be 5 million alumni. And so I just wanted to let everybody know that when they purchase these charms and bracelets today, they are going to be the first ones wearing our Black History pieces in the country. Okay. And so, I like to be first. All right. And so you guys will be first if you make some purchases here. All right. So now that's the HBCU amazing. And now I'm gonna have to let you know, for disclosure, when I was putting this package together, the reason why we labeled it amazing is because I find out that the HBCUs are the largest contributors to our Black population, I mean, to the Black middle class in this country. And so I thought that was amazing. Okay. And so then we had come together. We said, okay, well, let's put the HBCU on top of amazing and see what that looks like. And so to me, it looks very nice. Okay. All right. So let's go to the second to the last piece. All right. Which is our HBCU. Okay. This one here. Now this one here. Okay. When the hands are coming together, this talks about I support HBCUs. All right. Now, again, take a look at the details. See that I support HBCUs. And so, yeah, we could have written it out, but we wanted to be a little more creative and put the I there. And so that's what we did. But the thing is, with these HBCUs around the country, a lot of them are hurting. All right. Take a look at the endowment. Now, the HBCUs around this country, we've got 105 to 107. But when you put the endowment together, the money that goes back to these HBCUs is $3.9 billion. Okay, now that's a lot of money. Okay, but it's relative to what, say, take a look at Harvard, for instance. All right. Now, all of the HBCUs, they take in, $3.9 billion. But Harvard, their endowment is $39 billion. So one school, okay, Harvard, their endowment is 10 times as much as all of the
All of
HBCUs
the above.
combined. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, so this is another reason why we said our company is going to give back as far as scholarships. We're going to give a certain percentage back because we have to support our HBCUs. Okay, because we really can't leave it up to the next person. And even though that like Robert Smith, he paid for more houses, students, their loans and everything like that. So that's like maybe $39 million. And so we've got contributors, that contribute $20 million to some of these schools, but that's nowhere near enough. Take Morgan State University, for instance, here in Maryland. Now, they didn't anticipate the number of students in their freshman class last year. And so, guess where they have housing some of their students? Not on campus, but in a hotel downtown, where they use this hotel for COVID sufferers. Okay, so they in that hotel, at least 450 of them. And so right now, Morgan did find some money to build a 500 unit facility, but they're doing that now. But that's not an isolated case. That happens all around the country. So we've got to support our HBCU. So just note again, when you purchase, this jewelry, some of the money goes back to support these HBCUs. Okay, and then just the last piece here is the last HBCU piece. Okay, come down. Let me see. Okay, go. Let me see. Okay, on your left. Okay, okay. So what we did was with this, but you'll be able to see it much better on your site because it's coming in a little hazy for me. But what we did was we just put HBCU like on a little platform and somewhat of a, excuse me, like a little border like around it. Okay, some people just want a plain piece, HBCU piece, and so that's what they have there. So that's paired with the fist as well. So okay, so now that's all 10 of the pieces there, and so I just want to just let everyone know that for a 10-piece collectible charm bracelet series like this, now the introductory price is $870. The original price will be $1,030, which will go up probably in the next 10 to 12 days. But we also have Shop Pay on the website. And so Shop Pay, you'll be able to make payments in 4 increments. Okay, so if you purchase 10. But then we also said, okay, well, some people might not want to purchase 10. They might want to purchase just the 5 charms. And so you'll be able to purchase 5 charms for $500. And also that's Shop Pay as well. So you can be able to, make your payments in increments. Okay, so we want to make everything user friendly. Not a lot of people have $870 just sitting around right now, but then Shop Pay will make it much easier for you to make your purchase. So we definitely, wanted to, present these items. These items are very unique pieces. We don't have any competition in this country. All right. And so just let me run down a couple of the organizations that we are going to be dealing with, collaborating with. Of course, I had mentioned the National HBCU Alumni Association. We're getting ready to meet our second meeting with the National Council for Negro Women tomorrow. This is our second meeting. And we're also going to be collaborating with Black Wall Street, Maryland. They have like 40,000 members. And then Black Facts, they have like 200,000 members. And so we definitely going to make our bones, so to speak. We're going to be educating, but all these organizations are going to be receiving funds back because what we wanted to do, we wanted to be a company that shared. Now, I'm a twin, all right? And so sharing comes naturally to me because when you're an identical twin, all right, that's you share from the time that you come out of that womb, all right? And so, the ability to share was in my heart. And so that's what we want to do with this company. We want to educate and give back. And so HBCUAmazing is what we're going to go with. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to present this information to everyone. And thank you, Ms. Rivers, for allowing me to come in and to present. Thank you very much. And so now, okay, any questions or whatever.
Thank you. I was just kind of scrolling through the pictures one more time so they could see how beautiful it looked actually on a wrist.
Mm-hmm.
Look how beautiful that picture is. and it's not bulky. I know you said it's got a little weight to it,
Right.
but it's not bulky at all. I mean, it looks really good on her wrist. This looks like a
Mm-hmm.
very petite wrist, and it's just really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys see that? She's got a very petite wrist, and you see how it hangs very nicely, drapes on her arm.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Very, very nice piece. I'm going to stop sharing,
Okay.
and then we'll open it up to questions. But beautiful, beautiful collection, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. We've got a couple of questions. Edward
Okay.
says, um, can I just buy one charm instead of 5 or 10? Yes. So Edward, yes. So on the site, if you scroll down, I was
Mm-hmm.
clicking on each piece.
Mm-hmm.
I think each piece was what it said, 159, I think is what was the
No,
main
no,
price.
no, no, no. Just one charm. Just the charm alone is 89. Just one
Okay.
charm by itself. So he must have a bracelet or something already then.
So let me go back to it.
Because what you saw when 159, that's probably was the pendant. Because everything
Oh,
that you see, okay, comes in a pendant. See, these are just charms. So, but everything that you see comes in a pendant.
okay. Yeah, I must have scrolled
And
down to
it's
the pendants. There you go. I was looking at the pendants. So
right,
each charm itself is just 89
right,
for one of them.
right.
And then how much is the bracelet by itself?
Okay, the bracelet by itself is $140. That's a 29 gram chain. And so if you were to go to any other store to make that purchase, that chain probably would cost you about maybe about 210, 215 in that neighborhood. Especially if you go to Tiffany and Company. Okay,
Yeah.
because our pieces are commensurate with Tiffany.
Mm-hmm. No, this is a very nice bracelet, and 140 is very, very, very nicely priced. So if Edward got this bracelet and one of the charms,
Right,
Edward,
that's two
you're
thirty
looking
nine.
at 239. Yeah.
Yes, that's 239. Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely if you wanted to get the whole thing, it's actually much cheaper to get the
Right,
discounted price of the 870 for all 10 pieces and then
right.
do the shop pay.
Yes.
Okay. Let me go to Edward's second question. Hold on one moment. Second question Edward had was, Gary, I'm an investor partner with Bison Venture Partners, which is an HBCU business. And I was
Okay.
wondering if you would like to link up with them. I can give you my email and send them. Actually, Edward, I can actually make an introduction with him and Gary to meet. I can introduce the two Garys.
Okay.
That's a good point. Bison Ventures may be another good referral. I'll make a note. Olivia says, is the bracelet unisex?
Oh yes, absolutely, of course. Yeah, yes, everything is unisex. Everything. Now, as far as the charm is concerned, now of course, more women will wear charm bracelets, of course. Okay. So this is why we made pendant size. Everything that you see, a guy can get in a pendant. Because a lot of guys don't really like all that clanging and that kind of stuff in the workforce and that kind of stuff like that. But then some guys do love it. But we know in this country, most women buy everything.
That is true. That is true. And the pendants are really nice also. And the does the do you have chains for the pendants?
Jane, I'm sorry. Oh,
Do you have
okay.
chains for the pendants?
Yes, yes, yeah. Then that's coming. So we wanted to make sure that we get the right chain. Okay. Yes, but we do have some now, but we didn't put them on the website now because we're brand new and we still building our site because we've got some other offerings as well. So that's coming.
Anonymous asked, what other charms are you looking to add to your collection in the future?
Oh, okay. It all depends. Now, if we're working with, say, like the National Council for Negro Women, Okay, so their charm bracelet will look a little different. So some of it will commemorate their milestones. Okay, so but we have 1,000,001 Black History events that has taken place in our nation. One in particular, the Underground Railroad, for instance. All right, so we'll be doing that. So, but also we're going to let some of the students design some of these pieces too. So we didn't want to design everything because even though this is our customer, our customer, okay, we want. I mean, I'm sorry, even though that's it's our business, we want the students to design. And so some of these organizations, they have talented people as well. So we are going to be hosting all kinds of engagement, design competitions to get this whole country involved. Because the thing is, these are educational pieces. So the more people that we get engaged will keep that Black history at the forefront. So that's really what we would like to do. So there's many different pieces that we're going to do. But so but we have to crawl before we walk. Sure, I'd love to put 100 pieces on this website, but this stuff costs so much money, so we have to take one at a time. But next 5 months from now, when you look at our website, it's going to be totally different. When I say different, I mean it's going to have many more pieces of charms of Black history events on this. So we wanted to the number that I came up with was 10 at the beginning. So I said, well, that should be enough to get people interested to see what we're doing, to see the quality of what we're doing. Okay.
Nice. There's some comments in the chat. Everybody was talking about, Edward said John Lewis would be proud. And then
Yes.
Alicia
Mm-hmm.
commented, hashtag good trouble. That's a nice slogan for a piece.
Right,
That
right,
would be nice as well.
right, right, right.
Oh, and then Talisha also suggested maybe you'll make a 10K project charm from.
Okay. Well, like with a lot of these organizations, I'm going to be speaking to an organization tomorrow. It's 100 Black women organization, and so they have I don't know about 100,000. I think it's about 100,000 members, and so even in your in this platform here, some of you might have organizations that you're a part of, Black organizations that you are a part of. And if you want us to, get together and see about some possibilities, of course we're open to that. But it's about Black history, and so anything that we can do to help promote Black history, we're for it.
Very, very nice. What's the length of the bracelet? Is it 8 inches?
Okay, but that one is 8, but it comes in, you can get it in 7 inches, 7.5, and 8 inches. Now, but this is what I find out. Now, in the last couple of years, now we were testing like, 6.5 and 7 and 7.5, but it seems like women's wrists are a little larger now, okay, because 8 inches, they seem to be more comfortable with the 8 inches. Now, 7.5 and 7, that's just a little tight, but whatever length you want, okay, we have. So when you make your purchase, just make a notation that you are a 7.5, and we can make that happen, or a 7, we can make that happen.
So where will we make the notation? Because when I'm going to the site, when I go to add the bracelet to the chart or to the cart, excuse me.
Okay, yeah, you can send us an email
Okay.
on the email. In the email, just say, hey, listen, I want the bracelet, but I only want a 7.5, and then we'll make it happen.
Okay. I do suggest that you have your web designer add the bracelet in some other sizes or add some other sizes to the cart so that people
Okay.
don't get confused going forward, especially as you roll it out to others.
Okay.
Any other questions for Gary? What do you guys think? Put a 1 in the chat if you absolutely love these pieces and you would be interested in buying some. Yeah, I'm not a charm bracelet girl, and I'm buying one of these. I love it. I just love I'm just not a I don't like the clinking. The clinking drives me crazy, right? That's
Okay,
in my old age, all noise drives me crazy.
right.
But I absolutely love this piece. For me, this would be a collector's item, right? That thing you put on for a special occasion,
Mhm.
to show it off, right? Oh, look at all the ones. Nice. For a
Yes,
special occasion, I could see wearing that out, right? And only
yes,
take, taking it out like people do with their high quality diamonds. I would take that piece out. That
yes,
would be my
yes.
special show
Right.
off piece.
Right. And now,
'Cause
one of the things that we're going to do with the National Council for Negro Women, they have like 50,000 members. And so, what we're going to do for them, we're going to introduce a 10-piece, but we're only going to introduce one at a time. We're going to get together with their marketing department and just introduce one at a time. But then, because they host a lot of events, and so they'll be inviting us to these events around the country. And so we'll be doing giveaways of, a couple of the charms and everything just to keep it hyped. And so that way, once, they start inviting us, then it just spreads out because on the marketing tip, that's something that they want us to do, invite us to several different events. And so what we're going to do, as the people purchase their charms, okay, they will wear them to those events, and then we'll give out certain tickets. We do raffles, and so it's gonna be some fun times in the next several months.
Yeah,
Okay.
this it sounds like fun. Bernard says, I like the idea, but I myself do not wear any jewelry. Bernard, you don't have anybody to buy a gift for? There's not a Mrs. Bernard or a little Bernisa. There's no Bernisa.
Mhm.
There's got to be somebody you can buy a gift for Bernard. A niece, an aunt. No, nobody.
Mhm.
You said my sister does. She's here also. Okay. I love it. Oh goodness. And Bernard Edwards telling you that he's got some other pieces, not just jewelry also. Because yeah, we did see some sweatshirts and some other stuff on the site as well.
Oh,
We
right,
didn't
yeah, of
talk
course.
about that, but let's talk about that. Thank you for that, Edward.
Right, we do apparel, but I didn't think that tonight would be a good night to mention the apparel. But since you asked, okay, I do what the customer wants. Yes, some of now let me tell you who's my director of marketing. Okay, and the reason why we're doing apparel. His name is David Salters. He used to work for P. Diddy in the Sean John collection. He used to work for Damon Johns and FUBU, and he sold FUBU for about $6 billion, and he's on Shark Tank. And so I got together with David more than a year ago because David put together his own marketing company. And so once I realized that he was in the clothing, I said, listen, I said, no, we can offer the clothing too. Especially like the students when they purchase a Sean bracelet, we can take a look at the apparel and make some purchases. So yeah, so we only have now these designs come in all different colors, all school colors and everything like that. So of course we're going to be adding as the weeks go in, but that know your power is definitely our theme, and then the HBCU amazing. So we're going to continue to add the apparel, but yeah, so that's the reason why we're doing apparel is because David Salters has been in the apparel business for about 25 years now. And so our apparel collection is going to be much greater in the next couple of months.
I like that dark gray. I love the know your power. I love how the emphasis on power. It's almost like it's like if you were reading it the way I see it, you would scream power when you read it because you just like I
Yes,
love the way you've made it kind of like you said graduated it in strength even. I mean, I love everything about this and everything
yes.
you put that fist on. That fist is I don't know if it's just
Right.
I just posted something in our Facebook group a couple of days ago with a fist too, and I don't know if
Okay.
there's something about that that is
Okay.
just so um
It's a
just
power.
provocative.
It's probably the most powerful symbol in the Black community. And so when John Carlos and Tommy Smith held up that fist, okay, in 1968, that was me. Okay, I was like, yeah, because I was 8 then. Okay, and I was like, yeah, okay. I thought that was very powerful because we can't be afraid in this country to fight like injustice. Like when we see it, we really have to say something about it. Okay. And so that was their way of saying something about what was going on in America by holding up their fist. And they didn't care if those medals were going to be taken away, because some things are bigger than material things. All right. And so when I saw that, that hit me like a ton of bricks. And so we just wanted just to commemorate those two guys by putting this fifth on everything, because that was a very powerful symbol.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier, again, your voice went out so I want to make sure I heard it right. Did you talk about doing a patent on the connector piece?
Yes, yes, yes. It's patent pending. Yes, absolutely. And now some of these pieces can't be patented because you
Right,
can't really patent, history. But the
right,
pieces
right.
that we can, we, yeah, definitely, because this is America, right?
I love it. Very, very good. Any other questions for Gary? We've been putting the link to the website in the comments in the chat. It is HBCUAmazing.com. Easy to remember. Um, so please, go on and, buy a bracelet. There is that shop pay there. You notice, Gary, this is Gary's first stop, right? I always love
Yes,
when we're the first stop. So let's just brag on
yes,
10K a little bit.
yes,
Let's just
yes.
brag a little bit, right? I don't brag enough, but I'm gonna do it tonight.
Okay.
So, like I said, Gary needs to raise a certain amount of money to be able to produce this in mass quantities. His product is such I think, an amazing product, right?
Thank you.
That it was just, to me, a no-brainer to pre-sell. It's a beautiful item. It's going to be literally handmade for you, right? You will be the first batch to come out of the
Right,
process,
right,
right?
right, right.
And you'll really be the leaders in showing this around, right? You will be
Yes,
walking marketing in some
yes,
sense, for
yes.
Gary, when people say, "Oh, wow, where'd you get that from?" And you'll be
Right,
able to say where you got it
right.
from. I loved that about these pieces, is that there's this exclusive component to it that we get to be first at. Gary has made some amazing connections over the last few months. And I think within our community, he's going to just completely blow up. But we will be the first batch off of the assembly line. Okay. And I love everything about that. So definitely consider getting your whole, the bracelet with all 10 pieces, and hold them like collector's items. Because I think
Mm-hmm.
as Gary continues to make more, it'll really be, to some extent, like Pandora, right? I mean, some people have multiple Pandora bracelets. I have one of my very, very, very close friends. I don't think she's gotten a gift other than a Pandora pendant for the last 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what everybody buys her, right? She loves it, and that's what she likes. And now it's unfortunate for her, nobody's gonna ever get her anything else. But she's got like 3 or 4 of these bracelets, and she absolutely loves them. I see this happening over time with your collection.
Yes,
I see it expanding to where people are having 3 and 4,
yes,
house 30, 40 charms at a time.
yes.
Yeah. So very, very well done, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you got a lot of ones, so a lot of people are interested in buying it. So that's really good. I hope
Okay.
you are successful
Thank
in
you.
pre-selling all that you need in order to manufacture everything. I know how hard that process is, and like you
Yes.
said, you've already spent $100,000 of your own money, so you got skin in the game in this one.
Ah!
And so we
Right,
hope to give you a little bit of relief, so
right,
you
right.
don't have to put
Yeah,
out the remaining to get this, take it to
yes,
the final steps.
right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any other questions for Gary before we say good night, guys? If you've got any great ideas for Gary, something you'd love to see in a piece, don't hesitate to email. Gary, the email address is this for your general email is what?
Okay, okay, that's going to be contact at New York City Jewelry Connection, or it could be HBCU. Um, okay, well, let me not give that one out because all this is new. So it's contact at New York City Jewelry Connection. Contact at
.com.
New York City Jewelry Connection.
Right.
Right.com.
Yeah. Yeah, just in case you have any ideas, something you'd love to see as a consumer, that may be helpful. You know, Gary talked about how amazing Miss Lou is. I got to meet Miss Lou Willard, and wow, guys, I mean, she is such an amazing career that she's had, and the people that
Yes,
she's worked with. After I
right.
talked to her, I actually went back and looked at some old pictures of Sammy Davis Jr. just to look, because he
Okay,
wore a lot of jewelry, right?
right.
I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh, I wonder if that was her piece. I
Right,
wonder if that was her
right.
piece,
Yeah,
because he
right.
just always wore the nicest of jewelry.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
and
And you can
so,
go back, and you can go back at Isaac Hayes. He had that piano watch.
yeah,
Unfortunately, unfortunately, yeah, that's what she made that for him. Okay, because it opens up like the part, it opens up, and you see all of the diamonds and see the piano. Unfortunately, he owed a lot of money in taxes, and he came and got that.
they came and took that. Wow.
Yeah, but she made
That
that.
was a nice piece, though.
Yeah, Isaac
Whoa.
Hayes. Yes, yes. And so the stories that I hear, because I'm a Michael Jackson fan. I grew up with Michael Jackson in New York. I lived in Madison Square Garden. And so when he first came with his brothers, all right. And so, of course, I'll ask her all kinds of stories about Michael Jackson. Okay. And the stories that I hear, okay, are unbelievable. Okay. Because it's like I knew the guy because of all the information that she tells me about he and his brothers and their collaborations, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so not only are you guys creating history, right? You have someone who's a part of history, who's designing everything, and then you're designing pieces that represent history. This is
Yes,
this is iconic. This is really this is huge, Gary. I hope you
thank you.
understand what you have started here now, right? You can't stop now. Now we want to see it all, right? To get into
Right,
pop culture, I mean, because it's not just
right,
about history, right? To get into
right, right.
all the things that make us
Yes,
magic.
yes, yes,
You have the
yes,
opportunity to put that on a charm so that people
absolutely.
can wear that around to represent the pride that we have for ourselves and for our
Mhm.
community and for our culture. Um,
Yes.
you have started, you have opened up Pandora's box.
Right. Yes, yes,
So
it's
congratulations. This is going to be huge.
yeah, yeah, thank you. It's been a long journey, 2.5 to 3 years. And so, I woke up every morning knowing that I had a mission, to accomplish. And fortunately I didn't quit because I'm gonna let you know for disclosure, a couple times, you know, I kept getting, just it was just hard, okay, dealing with these other countries around the world and this and that, and all these organizations and meetings, and sometimes this becomes hard. But I said to myself, Gary, okay, because a lot of people come to you for advice, okay, and one of the things that you let them know, if you believe in something, you got to make it happen. You have to make it happen. And so those two times that I said this is enough, the next morning I was renewed energy, and it got me to this point, and I'm so glad that I stayed the course because I'm here now.
Mm, mm, mm. That's a word for every entrepreneur out there listening to this. That is a word that you need to hear. Keep going. Don't give up.
Right,
It'll all fall
right.
into place. And even your
Yes,
failures, there are lessons in those
yes,
failures. There,
yes,
there
yes,
are pivots in those failures, right?
yes,
New opportunities
yes,
to make the business plan even better than it
yes,
was before.
yes,
Do not
yes.
give up.
Keep up. Yes.
All right, Gary, you also got to break off your ex-wife something, because this was all, we ain't forget about that part of the story. We ain't
Oh, you
forget
well,
about
you know
that.
what we oh no, well, we still crazy cool. She's like my right hand person. She's like my immediate administrative person. Okay, now I have a wonderful team, but I need someone here. Now she lives in Maryland as well, but I have project managers, and we also develop an app too. So I met this very talented software engineer. And so all of what we're doing, all the competitions, everything is going to be on this app. So yeah, so we're just going to just continue to grow.
Nice. Very good. Bernard's last comment is that you need to use the pink hoodie for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Bernard. And Bernard was my brother's name. Bernard was my brother's name. Yeah, Bernard. He passed away unfortunately about 3 years ago. But yeah, when I hear that word Bernard, yes, thank you, Bernard.
All right, guys. I think we have done it again. Another great night, another amazing presentation with Black
Okay.
founder who is doing wonderful things and really, really creating an impact. And so
Okay.
thank you so much again for the culture.
Okay.
You're doing it. You're doing it. Thank you.
Okay. And thank you. And thank you for being receptive to my initial email. Okay. Because, unfortunately, people just, don't really respond. But you were very receptive. And really, I appreciate that. Okay. Because the way that you responded an hour after I sent that information out, I was like, okay, well, we're on the same page because that's how I perform. Okay, so I knew that we were going to connect. And thank your team for allowing me to come in and present this information to you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Good evening, everyone, to the community. You guys know how much I love you guys. I'll see you again next week. To everyone watching the replay in Facebook, look in the comments. You'll see the link, but it's HBCUAmazing.com. To everyone watching the replay, again, HBCUAmazing.com. These pieces are really, really nice, guys. So I hope you enjoy yours. When we start getting them, we'll all wear them and jingle them a little.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Good night, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.